So, starting another sighing video for Volvo 240s, but my cat has escaped over the front, so I need to go at him. Oh look, back in. This video is going to have it all: cats, car parts, all the essential ingredients for a massively viral YouTube video. I did try doing a build as we go video, but it was just too tough trying to do things one-handed while carrying the phone. So yeah, not going to be much in the way of me showing you how to put things together, but let's have a go. The thing on the left here is a completed pump. So I've rebuilt this thing. And then the thing on the right is obviously the deconstructed pump. Cool thing to note about these, if you're doing any research online, is they are nothing more than a Saginaw Type 2, a GM Saginaw Type 2. In actual fact, on the back of this one, in a second, you can just barely make out that says GM and the stamped in print. Most of the diagrams are kind of fairly standard. This is what comes with the rebuild kit. I have got what looks to be a combination of the two diagrams, which doesn't really help. But in essence, I've got the pump body itself. I've got a reservoir that is, it might be called integrated, but in effect you can take it off and then put it on the back of it. Sometimes you get ones that are remote, so there's a hose that runs between the body of the pump towards a reservoir that's somewhere else in the car. And then inside of this thing is the shaft itself. This thing, which is kind of a snap ring, it holds the whole thing in the back. There's a seal at the front, and there would be a bearing, but I'll show you how this all fits together in about 2 seconds. So if you're doing this job, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove that pulley. These things are a pain in the arse. They've got a lip that goes around the outside, and then the spindle, which is that thing, sits in the center. This one's a little bit damaged, and I'll tell you why. Well, basically, whenever you get a puller set, you can get these things here, which, as far as I can tell, is just a generic power steering pump pulley set, or gear puller set. This tool is for putting the pulley back on, and then the rest of these are, in theory, in particular this one, for pulling the pump off. There's one thing that you need to be very, very careful of on these things. These two pieces clamp around here, and then this massive bit here that I've showed you would sit in between the upper lip of those two. The problem with this kit is these are ever so slightly too small for the lip on that pulley. So as you apply the pressure, they slip, and then they start causing damage, like bending the lip or pulling off the lip. In actual fact, the reason this one is in bits right now is I was going to service it anyway, but it now no longer has a pulley, because while trying to pull the pulley off this one, these things broke it. My only advice is you could take maybe an angle grinder and try and shorten the curve on both of them to make it a tighter fit. Some people have done that. The other thing that they do, because naturally that means that the diameter of this thing will suddenly become quite hard to fit, is chop the sides off. Alternatively, and this might be less of a mess, find a friendly mechanic who's got a press and get them to press out the pulley, and then you can do the rest of the job yourself fairly easily. You will still need this kit in that case, because if you want to put the pulley back on, you need that tool. One other thing to notice, this thing normally has an extra piece at the far end of it, and what I found was it was getting in the way and preventing a proper seated puller, so I had to cut it off.